Sparkles and Plasmas, welcome to another video. Now today I'm going to be telling you a story from when I was very little and just starting school. I still just so happen to remember because I found one of these in the garage last week looking for old junk to bring back into my room. Don't ask. And it just so happened to be this little guy, and I remembered how I got it and I thought the story would be good for YouTube content. Let's go into some background about the school. The school was in Georgia, which is where I was before I moved to Arkansas and then back to Georgia. I'm not going to give out the name of the school for safety reasons, but in all madness, the school was pretty messed up. How it's messed up? The school had districts, which means A and B were put into one district, C was in another, and anything below, I never knew because I was never that terrible of a student to get those kinds of overall grades. The school was, not joking, an all-privileged white school. I'm black, so I guess you can tell that I never really made any friends. It was bad. It was like Everybody Hates Chris, but without the Greg kind of bad. In class, if the teacher sat me beside anyone, and I mean anyone, they would either put their bag on the table, creating a barrier to avoid me, or they'd scoot away from me and ignore me as much as possible in a group assignment. Some of them wouldn't even go near me during nap time. I didn't know why they were doing this. I get that I was a little different, so what? I usually acted like the quiet child in the corner since the teacher noticed that no one wanted to sit with me, which was my entire life growing up until 5th grade. I never really spoke to anyone, and mostly at the time, in which name I will not go out to say, I wouldn't call her a friend, but I only had that one person to talk to. But since she had other friends, it was like whatever when they were around. Overall, I was a lone wolf. I never really tended to like anyone since they didn't like me back. That's just how it was. So you can tell the school's overall outlook was crap, but this story isn't. So let's get into it. It was a really stormy week, and for the 3 days, the whole class had to stay inside and play for recess. So after lunch, the first thing kids would do is run down the hallway to get to the best game in the classroom. Since the classroom had limited games such as Jenga, Twister, Checkers, and 2 other games I cannot name, getting there first was a big deal. But for me, I always walked because there was never really a real reason to run. I had no one to play with, so saving any game for them was not my issue. When the class got into the room, they'd go for the cubbies, which is usually off into a medium-sized closet on the opposite side of a wall near our backpacks. The backpacks had our names listed on each hook, because it's easier to place things. The kids who had friends would go and play with their multiplayer games and ignore the world. I would play with the one thing that no one chose. That thing in specific is the 6 rainbow frogs. The reason why I call them rainbow frogs is that if you put them in a specific order, they do make the pattern of a rainbow. And I like this because for the longest I was told, after every storm there's a rainbow. And I always wanted to see that happen. So usually I toss them one by one in the air and sometimes put them in their rainbow row. I mostly like to set them up and admire their colors. These beanbag frogs were my best friends, and I always played with them. The sad part is when recess ends and everyone has to go back to putting them up into the cubbies. They don't really care how we put them up as long as everything was there. So we put everything back up, we ended class, and so the next day. It was another rainy day, so again, same protocol. But today, I didn't feel like playing with my friends. So to maintain good grades, I asked to do some extra work to keep myself busy. Everything was great until a girl, which name I won't say, but let's just call her Kylie, came up to me in the middle of when I was doing my work and annoyingly asked me,
"Where are the frogs?"
She said this to where half of the class turned to look at us. I responded with a shrug since I really didn't know where they would be besides the cubbies. She then said,
"Yeah, you wouldn't know because you took them."
okay, so accusing anyone of theft at that school was a big no-go. Since the school is private and strict, anything that doesn't belong to you, you just don't touch unless given permission. So the teacher got involved and got the whole class to search the room. This girl, the one I talked to, spoke up and said,
"Kylie has them! They're in her backpack! She's lying!"
So this stirred up a lot of people in the class, including the teacher. The teacher told us all to sit down while she checked the closet where the cubbies were, and she in fact found 4 of the 6 frogs inside her bag. She swore that she didn't know how they got there, but no one in the class believed Kylie. Neither did I. So after that, she was banned from recess for tomorrow and was getting a phone call home. That same day afterwards, the teacher highly restricted that anyone play with the other frogs unless we found the other 2. So after the squabble, we put the games into the cubbies and we went along class time, then went home. The next day, I decided to still catch up on work, so I was with the teacher all throughout recess, and to the surprise of the class, 2 more of the frogs were gone. Which made no sense because the teacher strictly said that no one was allowed to play with them anymore. When the teacher questioned the class, Kylie immediately pointed at me and shouted,
She's the one who took them. You said no and she took them.
the teacher got annoyed and started searching through the bags again, and to her surprise, once again, Kylie had stolen more of the frogs. This time, the only ones that were found in her bag were the green and yellow colored frogs. The other 4 were missing this time. So then the teacher decided not only to call home, but to give her a trip to the principal's office on top of that. That's what you get for accusing me. After that, recess ended early due to the incident, and we all had to put all of our playthings back into the cubbies and go back to work. Then, zoom home, then the next day. I'm not sure if you know this, but on this day was the last rainy day, and this time, I also sat recess out because all of the frogs were gone, man. I didn't even have to address anything. Someone announced that it just appeared to them. My associate announced that Kylie kept taking them and that there's one probably in her bag. And out of the blue, we only find one color inside of Kylie's book bag, the purple one. How taunting. The incident put Kylie into 3 days of working recess, so for the remainder of the week, she couldn't play. After that, we put our toys up into cubbies and finished our day. The next day, it was pretty wet outside, so playing inside until tomorrow was our only option. And holy crap, all the frogs were gone. No one believed Kylie when she said that it wasn't her. She just got sent straight to the principal's office and recess went on as usual. After that, our day ended and we went home. So, on that day, I walked to the car rider's lane and drove home and went to my room. And then I unzipped my backpack, put the purple frog at the end of the other ones on my dresser, and watch the rainbow form at the end of the storm. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. It really means a lot to me when you do. Thanks for liking, commenting, and subscribing. I see Sue melting out. See you guys! What? What? Oh. I just waited until the end of the day to shove a random color in my bag before I left, and then in the morning I would just, wait till Kylie put her bag up and left it in the closet. Then I would just place the remaining frogs in her backpack as a cover-up. Easy? No, okay, I get it. I'm evil.